This story begins with a man named Enzo, who is a painter by profession and gives karate tuition to children in his free time. One night, as Enzo was returning home from work, he stood at the bus stop and lit a cigarette. But the very next moment, a car splashed water on him, extinguishing his cigarette. Now, in anger, Enzo threw the cigarette away and stood by the roadside staring at it. The cigarette floated in the water and directly fell into a sewer, which was right in front of the Bank of Rio. Now Enzo followed the sewer to a large bridge where all the sewer water was flowing out. After that, he went into the drain pipe located beneath the bridge and began to inspect the surroundings, during which the thought of robbing that bank came to his mind. The next morning, he reached out to his friend Sebastian and told him about his plan. Sebastian also needed money badly, so he joined the plan. However, to carry out this robbery, they needed a lot of expensive equipment and some weapons. But for now, they didn't have a single penny in their pockets. Now, to arrange for money, Enzo went to meet a man named Dibuza, who was an old friend of his. However, Dibuza also did not have enough money to fund this theft, so he gave Enzo the address of a man named Mario. Actually, Mario was also a thief, and he often committed small robberies. The next morning, Enzo went to meet Mario and told him his entire plan. There he said to Mario, "If we succeed in this heist, you'll never have to steal again for the rest of your life." Hearing Enzo's plan, Mario was a bit confused at first, but eventually he agreed to join him. That night, both of them went near the sewer, and Enzo lowered a measuring tape inside it. Then, the two of them entered the pipe and measured its depth using the tape. After doing some calculations, Enzo told Mario, "We're only 18 meters away from becoming millionaires." However, Mario was worried that if it rained on the day of the robbery and the water level in the pipe rose, their plan would fail. To this, Enzo replied, "We'll pull off the heist only when the weather is completely clear." Mario agreed, and then the two began preparing and planning for the robbery. During this time, they found out that the bank had motion sensors installed inside. If anyone tried to enter the bank at night, the alarm system would immediately go off. Now, Enzo explained to everyone that motion sensors don't detect movement. They actually detect body heat. After that, Enzo used sleeping bags to make a special kind of suit that could hide his body heat. The next day, Enzo went to the bank and started taking photos of every department inside so he could understand the layout and create a blueprint. But while he was doing this, the bank's security guards caught him taking pictures and took him to the bank's basement. Actually, this was all part of Enzo's plan. He wanted to get access to the basement so he could see the lockers up close. The guards checked Enzo's camera but didn't find anything because Enzo had already removed the SD card beforehand. Since the guards found no evidence against him, they let him go. After that, Enzo returned to his team and showed them the blueprint he had created from the photos. Enzo told everyone that they would enter the bank through the basement since all the lockers were located there. Once they had the blueprint, they used a bicycle to measure the distance between the bank and the sewer. They marked the tire, rode it from the sewer to the bank, and counted how many times the tire rotated to calculate the distance. The next day, Enzo did some calculations to determine the exact angle they needed to dig so they could reach directly inside the bank. Meanwhile, Enzo also told Mario that the money they were planning to steal was insured by the bank, which meant that no ordinary person's money would be lost in the robbery. That night, the whole group went down into the sewer and began digging a tunnel through the pipeline. They also brought a man named Alberto into their plan to help them escape after the theft. Even after all that planning, their biggest problem was how they would open all the lockers inside the bank. The bank actually had 400 lockers, and if it took them 1 minute to open each locker, it would take a total of 6 hours to open them all. The next day, Mario went to another branch of that bank and rented a locker in his name. While opening it, he carefully studied its mechanism. The following day, Mario and his accomplices stole a van they planned to use for their getaway. After that, they went to Alberto's house and waited outside for him. Just then, a police unit arrived and started questioning them because the van was parked in the middle of the road. Before the police could grow suspicious, Alberto and his wife came outside and told the officers that these people were their guests and were just waiting there. That night, they returned to the sewer and continued digging the tunnel. But after a few hours of digging, their drill broke and the work came to a halt. Seeing this, Mario became very angry and told everyone that he had already put all his savings into the work and he couldn't invest any more money. With that, he walked away. One night, while Enzo was with his girlfriend, an idea popped into his head. The next morning, he went to Mario's house, met him, and laid out his entire plan. Enzo explained that they would rob the bank not at night but in broad daylight. His plan was to enter the bank through the main gate in the middle of the day, so that the bank staff and the police would think it was just a minor theft. While the police waited outside the bank, they would slip out through the tunnel, and by the time the police discovered the tunnel, they would be long gone. Now Mario also liked Enzo's plan and decided to go along with it. On the day of the robbery, they all put glue on their hands so they could hide their fingerprints. Meanwhile, Sebastian went into the sewer to dig the tunnel, while the rest of the team, disguised, entered the bank. Once inside, they put on masks and took all the customers in the bank hostage. The bank's security guard saw everything on the cameras and informed the police. Mario went to the cashier and told him to fill a suitcase with money. At the same time, Alberto went to the bank's parking and locked the gate from the inside. Within minutes, the police arrived outside and quickly surrounded the bank. Seeing this, Enzo grabbed a hostage at gunpoint, took him outside the bank, and began threatening the police. Enzo said that if anyone tried to enter the bank, they would kill all the hostages inside. Back inside the bank, Mario held another hostage at gunpoint and ordered the security guard to come out. At first, the guard refused, but after Mario threatened him repeatedly, he finally came out of the room. Mario took the guard's gun, and before letting him go, took his phone too, so they could be contacted on that phone if the police needed to talk to him. After sending the guard out, Enzo shut off all the cameras, so there would be no evidence left against them. Enzo then went to the bank's basement and moved a cabinet aside.
Sebastian finished his work and came up into the bank through the tunnel. After coming in, Enzo and Sebastian went to the bank's parking lot and pulled a machine out of the trunk of a car. Then they went to the locker room and assembled the machine. Sebastian, who was a civil engineer, had built a machine that could open those lockers in just 7 seconds. Everyone on the team set a timer on their watches, and Enzo and Sebastian began breaking into the lockers. Meanwhile, Mario learned that the police had reached the bank's roof. Mario immediately called the police officer who was leading the mission. He threatened him, saying that if he didn't order his men to step down from the building, they would kill all the hostages inside. The captain had no choice but to agree, but he still placed 2 snipers on the building opposite the bank so they could shoot the thieves the moment they got a chance. After that, Mario told the captain that he wanted to speak with the town's mayor. The captain replied that it would take the mayor at least an hour to reach the bank. Meanwhile, Enzo and Sebastian had already opened several lockers, which contained huge amounts of cash and a lot of gold. Outside the bank, the police were planning how to catch the thieves because they believed it was just a simple robbery and that the thieves were now trapped inside. So the captain called Mario again and offered him a chance to surrender. He told Mario that if they turned themselves in, he would arrange a government lawyer for them, which would help them get a very light sentence. However, Mario refused the offer and asked for some time to think. On the other side, we see an old woman whose birthday was that day. When Mario learned this, he gave her a chocolate and allowed her to leave the bank as a birthday gift. A little while later, the mayor arrived outside the bank. When the police connected Mario with the mayor, Mario started insulting him with harsh words. After this, Mario told the captain that he no longer wanted to speak to any minister, but wanted to talk to his own lawyer instead. When the captain asked for his lawyer's phone number, Mario gave him the number of one of the hostages. And when the captain called that number, Mario changed his voice and pretended to be the lawyer. He was doing this just to buy more time for his team. Meanwhile, Enzo and the others were busy transferring all the stolen goods into the tunnel. Mario was managing the police and the hostages at the same time. During this, the captain was calling the hostage's phone, believing it was Mario's lawyer. But Mario had turned the phone off, which made the captain suspicious. Then he noticed the sewer outside the bank and realized there was a third escape route. Inside the bank, the thieves had loaded all the loot into a boat. Enzo then left all their weapons inside the vault. At this moment, it is revealed that these weapons were fake because Enzo never intended to harm anyone. After that, Mario locked all the hostages on the first floor of the bank and prepared to leave with Enzo. Meanwhile, when the hostages realized that the thieves had left, they quickly grabbed their phones and began calling their family members waiting outside. When the captain understood the full situation, he sent one team inside through the bank's main gate and another team through the sewer route. On the other side, we see Mario, who, together with Enzo, erased all the evidence of the digging and quickly returned to his teammates. Now the story goes into a flashback where Enzo and his crew were planning this heist. Enzo knew that the police would guess they were planning to escape through the sewer. So Enzo and his partners built a small dam inside the sewer to divert the water flow to another direction, allowing them to use their motorboat to escape that way. After this, the captain went to the bank's basement where he found the tunnel. But he couldn't chase the thieves through it because they had placed a bomb at the entrance. However, the captain soon discovered that, just like the rest of the thieves' weapons, the bomb was fake. But it was already too late, because the thieves had reached their exit point. Enzo and the others came out of the sewer and got into the van, where Sebastian loaded all the stolen goods into it. After finishing, Sebastian also climbed up, and they all drove away. And this is how a small group of thieves fooled the government and the police, successfully stealing a total of $30 million. After the heist, they reached Alberto's house and divided all the stolen money equally. They also burned the van that was used in the robbery. After destroying all the evidence, they went their separate ways and started living a comfortable life with their share of the money. However, a few months later, Alberto's wife discovered that he was having an affair with another woman. Enraged, she went straight to the police and revealed everything about the robbery. As soon as the police tracked down the thieves, they arrested them one by one, seized all their money, and put them in jail. After this, the story jumps 7 months ahead, when Enzo was being released from prison and Mario was waiting for him outside in an expensive car. Here it is revealed that Enzo had already planned everything in advance, so even if they all got caught, they would receive the minimum punishment. Since they had used fake weapons during the robbery and didn't harm anyone, the court sentenced them to only 7 months in prison. Also, the bank had no record of the money kept inside the lockers. Because of this, the government could not figure out how much money the thieves had actually stolen. However, the bank claimed that the thieves stole a total of $25 million and several kilos of gold. But during the investigation, the police found only $1 million, which meant the thieves had hidden most of the stolen money. Finally, Enzo and the rest of his crew were freed from jail and began living a comfortable life using the stolen money. I hope you enjoyed today's story. If you liked this video, make sure to like it and subscribe to the channel.